going to be doing our presentation today when I flip it over to her. So we're really excited to introduce her to all of you. Many of you have probably seen this. All of you on the phone today are suite users, and so what this diagram shows is that, and we always pull this up because it's amazing how even after all these years, people say, I didn't know you did SPC, or I didn't know that you had, you know, a corrective action module, whatever the case may be. So this spidergram just shows all of the integrated modules that, again, have been designed and developed over the years at the request of customers just like you all. And Folio Manager has certainly been that one. I want to take time to go through all these, but I also know that we have an allotted time period here with you today. If there's anything on this spidergram that you didn't know that we did, looks interesting, you knew we did it, but you just kind of have put it off, but maybe it's an area that your company has some challenges in, please let us know. We'd be happy to explain more in depth about the various pieces of our document control system, certainly Quality Planner to address the APQP process, our internal audit manager to help you with all of those lovely internal audits, especially with the new standards that are coming out, corrective action, SPC, and probably our two newest that you may or may not know, Training Manager, which does allow you to schedule and record training on documents that are already in the suite. We released that module a couple of years ago, and it has just taken off. It came about after a couple of road trips, and literally every customer I walked into, that was an issue for them. So again, really excited about that module. And then certainly today, Folio Manager. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get right into Folio Manager. Again, just a reminder, go ahead and send your questions through that question area on the right. And okay, I just clicked that up. Thank you. It looks like we had lost sound for a minute, but everybody seems to be okay. All right, good. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Megan, and we'll get going. Thanks so much.
Hello, everyone. Megan Anderson here. I'll be presenting today. So here for Folio Manager, what is this new program? What is a folio? By Waypoint Global's definition, a folio is a collection of documents that all have relevance to each other, or documents that correlate for a specific task. Remember group projects from college and all of those assignments you had to do together as a team? Folio Manager gives you the opportunity to have all those said documents be in one place, and that the folio itself can be moved around from team member to team member. It streamlines the worry of having documents going in every direction. With Folio Manager, you know that all of your documents are in one place. Now back to the present. For what kind of projects will Folio Manager be useful? There's plenty of them, such as engineering change notices, requests for quotes, and team feasibility commitment and APQP processes, just to name a few. Before I get to the hands-on actual showing of how Folio Manager works, I want to walk through the concepts so you can get a better grasp of them. In order to use Folio Manager, one needs to have a folio to work with. When you select the option to create a folio, this dialog will open up. Before we start working on the folio, there is some basic information that we need to enter about the folio. We'll start with document properties, where you put your basic information, such as title, document number, description, etc. Then we will move on to access, like who can edit, who can just view it, and whatnot. Then we'll move on to indexing for categorizing documents, just like any document in our system. With electronic distribution, we will identify who needs to receive notifications about folio events. Then we will identify if there are any controlled copies issued on the paper distribution tab. And lastly, we will identify if there is a need for a periodic review for the folio. Once this is completed, we click OK, and voila, a folio is created. Okay, so now we have a brand new folio that will show up in the list of folios this user has created. In order to add documents to this new folio, we would need to check out the folio first so we can begin editing it. We are prompted for the following: title, obviously required, document number, fairly optional, and there's the description, so we know what it is we're dealing with, We can keep the revision history and choose to publish it or not in the folio. And you can put in a revision number that can either be a number or a Roman numeral or a letter, and a revision comment, a document type, the author, the path to the file, and the file name itself. Also note the types of files that you can add to the folio. There's a variety for you to choose from. If you don't see your document type when you need it, you can just select it as any, and it will be in the folio, but it will not publish to the PDF that is created. You would repeat this process of adding documents until you have all the documents you need to start the folio. You can add more documents as the editing process goes on. Then we'll save our changes, and when it saves, it compiles all the publishable documents together into a single PDF that you can view. Here we are viewing the first page of the folio, and in this case, the first document in the folio is a CAD drawing. The PDF is made of the latest revisions of all the documents in the folio. Once the folio is made and the documents are entered into the folio, we are going to want to send that to the group of people that need to edit the folio. We would select Start Route, and then the next Edit Route screen on the right would pop up. The user will describe what they want the group to do in the comment section, enter in a due date, and then add the Edit Route participants in via drop-downs. We can add in users and/or groups one at a time if we can select a pre-made route list, which can be created ahead of time for purposes such as these. The picture on the left shows an example of a predefined route list including all of the participants. In this case, it's just one user group called administrators. How can you determine how much progress has been made by route participants? We have made it easy for you to identify which user or workstation currently has each folio. Since only one person can edit a folio at a time, it's important for you to do your work and then check it back in so that others will not be prevented from completing their work in a timely manner. With the addition of Folio Manager, this introduces a new type of route only available in Folio Manager. This is called a route for edit, where route participants can edit the documents inside the folio while it is en route. Routing for comment, which is gaining consensus on a document, and routing for approval are still started from the document workspace in Document Manager. It would be logical that similar project folios would use a consistent structure of contents and similar, if not the same, route participants. In order to save the time and energy of recreating the same folio structure over and over, as many folio templates as you need can be created in advance. These folio templates can contain the same folio properties, such as route participants, and even documents, such as forms or other checklists, that would typically need to be filled out in order to complete the process. We'll see an example of this very soon. Then when you go to make a new folio, you can select that template to save you some time. Pretty nifty. Okay, so now we are going to show a live example of a quote-unquote day in the life of a folio being created and ran through a route to it being approved. I will log on as myself, Manderson. No, I'm not going to tell you my password. We're going to create a new folio. The creation screen shows up with the tabs, and we first have to select a registration template. Now for this, I created a registration template for the engineering change notice we're going to create, and you can create those in Template Admin. You also have to select a folio template, and I made a engineering change notice template. This template has 3 checklists in it for the process that we are going to show today, and I will show you those as we go on. So now for these 6 tabs, I'm going to enter the following. This is an engineering change notice for a company called Carboni. I'm going to leave the number blank. The description will be an engineering change notice for Carboni. I will select myself as the owner, and I will leave the final approval authority, or FAA, as none. I also have a specific repository for all of my folios to go into. For the second tab, I pre-made some users to be in the access list, and I have the default access to view print. But I also need to add in the 3 departments that are going to be in play today. So they're under my groups. For engineering, I will give them edit access. And then manufacturing production, And lastly, purchasing. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. For indexing, I pre-made the indexing in the template admin registration template that I made. So now it is to the standard that I want it at. I can add more if I wish, but I'm not going to change it today. For the electronic distribution, I need to add in the 3 departments. So I'll add in engineering, and manufacturing, and purchasing. For paper distribution, I'll leave it alone. I'm not going to worry about that today. And for generating review, I will generate a review cycle to be next Friday. And I'll have it every 2 weeks with a period of 5 days. You can set it however much you need for your company. I'll hit OK. And now I'll look in the My Folios tab. Oh, I guess I have to set it to myself. Okay. And now in the My Folios tab, there it is. How nice. Now I can view it to make sure it has the 3 documents that I put in the template. So first, the engineering checklist. There is a purchasing checklist and a manufacturing production checklist. Everything looks good. Before I send this out to the departments it needs to get to, I need to add 2 more documents. I'll show you how easy that is. I will check out the template for the Folio, and it will open. And now I will select Add Document. The first document will be a letter from the purchasing manager describing the changes to the fuel pump that we're going to be involving with today. Richie Rich is the name of the purchasing manager. This is revision 1. It is a Microsoft Word document. And he is the author, not me, so Richie Rich. And you can just browse out and select your document, and the file name will automatically pop up. Okay, so here is the latest revision, the only revision. And now I need to add 1 more, the fuel pump markup. I'll give it a number. I have revision 1.0. Initial revision. This is an image. I will myself as the author and browse out to that folio. And there's the file name. And we're good to go. Now they show up underneath the checklist in order because they show an order based upon when they were added. So you can click on them and select the move up and move down so that you can have them in the order that you wish. I will make the letter to be number 1, and I will make the fuel pump markup to be in the 2nd slot. And I will save it. It compiles the documents together into a PDF. Depending on how many and how large your documents are, it could take a while or no time at all. Okay, I'll exit out of here and check it back in. I added the letter and the Waypoint markup. And now our folio is checked in. And now we can view to see the new documents. So here is the letter from Richie Rich describing the changes that need to be made. And here's the markup. And the 3 checklists from before. Now I will prepare to send this out on an edit route to the 3 departments that need this folio: engineering, purchasing, and manufacturing production. I have a pre-made route list for this presentation. I'll select the new route button and I will fill in the details. So I will say, please fill in the documents for your respective department. Due date is this week. I will start the route immediately. You can pre-make the route and then set it out whenever you want, but I'm just going to get it over with. So for the route list, I'll add in engineering. Where'd it go? And manufacturing, and where'd it go? Okay. Okay, and then you can also move up and down which group or person you want to start. I will have engineering go first, so I make sure that the checkbox is checked. Okay, and now I select OK, and it's off. Now, in order to show this route, I will log in as someone from the engineering department, and that will be Clayton. And I'm not going to tell you his password either because he wouldn't like that. So for the to-do list tab, it'll show a folio or any folios that it is your turn to be in the route. Now I will check out the folio and open the folio. There it is. Okay. Now I need to make changes to the engineering checklist. So I will select the Start Editing button, and it will open up that document in its respective editor. And everything, as far as Clayton knows, is good on his side. So I'm just going to put all yeses in the checklist, and I will save it. I will close it, and now I will click the Finish Editing button. Revision 2. Everything is good from engineering. Check all yeses. He is the author, not me. And select OK. So now it shows the new revision. Here's the one that I had put in, and here is the one that Clayton has edited. Okay, now we can save. And it will recompile, because now it has to take out the old revision of the engineering checklist and put in Clayton's version in his place. Okay, now we can exit out of here and check it back in. Edit the engineering checklist. And now we can route it to the next person. For time's sake, I'll skip the manufacturing production checklist and head to purchasing. In order to do that, I will go to the Folio Management tab and click on Select Member. And you can change which order you want it to go in. So I will skip over manufacturing and go to purchasing. And you have to make sure that it's checked or else it will go to purchasing. And you click OK. And now it's gone from the to-do list tab. Wow. Now we got to log on from somebody in purchasing department, and it'll be Peter's. Maybe. There we go. Now we'll check out. And it opens. So now for the purchasing checklist, there's another way that you can edit your document. If you have a revision that is already done and you can bring in a different file, you can. And he has one already done. He worked on it ahead of time. Good for him. His name is Nick Peters. Word document, revision 2.0. I edited the checklist previously. Now it's okay. And now here is his. Now we can save it. And just like last time, it will take out the previous revision and it will put his in his place. All right, and we're good to go. Now we just got to check it back in. Nope. And now let's check back in. Time to log back in as myself in order to end the route and look at the changes that we've done. Now we'll view it. There's the letter, and there's the markup. And there is the edited engineering checklist with all the yeses. The manufacturing. Where's the manufacturing one? Here is the cost details for purchasing that they edited and brought in. So everything looks good. Now I can select en route because everyone's had their part done. You can select suspend route if you need to pause it for somebody, or abandon route if you want to keep a ledger. So it's like ending it, but it didn't complete. And then there's completing the route. Everyone has done their part. And we'll select OK. Now it is no longer in the route. Approval for the folio has to happen in Document Manager, and the easy way is to double-click on it. I haven't updated my Document Manager yet. And you go and select the latest revision, and you can change the status to approved. Or you can send it for a route or for a comment in Document Manager. But for today, I'll just do the manual version. All right, and now it's current. And that, folks, is the day in the life of a folio. Where to go? Back to the presentation. Here are a couple FAQs that we've received about Folio Manager when we've discussed and shown it with people in the past. So how is this any different from creating a directory in Windows Explorer? Well, we give you access control so that some people can view it, some people can edit it. And you can see the different revisionings for every document. So you won't see just the latest one. You'll see every change that's been made in publishing, because that latest revision will be published but the others won't. And it promotes inter-document relationship consistency. So you can control your edit access. You can can choose which user group can edit it, who can view it, who can delete it, etc. And if the folio needs to be printed and the documents have different sizes, forgot to add the word sizes in there, will they print correctly? So since the folio is rendered in PDF images, it will automatically format each image so that you can go from landscape to portrait, or it'll blow up an image or a text file quickly so that it all works and flows very well. Now it's time to hear about any questions that we've gotten so far. We have a few others on the line that are going to answer them for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate the time and effort that you put into putting the presentation together for us. And we threw her in trial by fire, and I think she did a great job for us. So we have had some questions come in, and so I wanted to go ahead and read those out loud. And again, anything that for some reason we don't get through, or we will expand on when we write out the questions along with the answers from our team members. I do have a couple of names, a couple of people on the phone with us that I'm sure you all will recognize. One is Dwight Funk, who is the leader of our development team, along with Brad Anderson, who is the leader of our technical support and training department. And so I'm going to just throw these questions out and have one of the guys answer them. So one is about how many users can add documents to a folio. And don't everybody speak at once. Or maybe remember to take your phone off mute. That might be the best way.
That's right there. So
yeah, I figured, yeah, so how many users can add documents to Folio?
It's my understanding that anybody that has edit access and is participating in the route can add documents to a folio.
Alrighty, and along with, kind of along with how many users goes along with if you're sending a folio to a department, how many in the department would need to see or revise the same checklist? And I'll go ahead and answer that a little bit, and then if one of you guys want to jump in, it really would kind of depend on the company. It could be that everyone in the department holds a piece of information that they all need to see something, or it could be that it starts with, maybe one or two people in the department are in the folio, and maybe they gather the information from somebody else on behalf of the department. Do Brad or Dwight, do either of you have anything to expand on that?
No, I think you addressed that well.
Okay.
The product was designed so that any member from the department could complete the activity for the department. If additional content is necessary, then they don't need to complete the activity for their group.
And from a licensing standpoint, if somebody only needs to view a folio, are they still required to have a license? Right, you want to jump in on that one? If they're view only of a folio.
Yeah, this is Dwight. Yeah, they just need desktop to view it, or desktop with access.
Okay, all righty, thank you. Let's see, some other ones. Is there any limit to the number of participants that you can put in a route? And the answer is no. You can add as many people as you need to effectively put that folio together. Here's one about notification as far as when you're on the folio. Do I get notified when a folio has been moved to the next participant?
Yeah, our e-Notify product will send out an email to the person or everybody in a group when they become the active person in a route.
All right, great. And if you have any questions about eNotify, please let us know. That is a service that can be added to partner up with the suite. There is no additional charge or anything. It's just a matter of us working with your IT department to get it installed for you. It basically takes those notifications, if you're used to them popping up in PW Notify when you're actually in the suite or in desktop or something like that, you know, those little pop-ups that come in the corner that say, hey, you have a document you need to address or things like that. We actually tie that into your email system. So for you or your colleagues that maybe are not logged into the suite every day, you'll get an email that says there's something that needs your attention, whether it's just a new document has been released that you have access to, maybe something needs your disposition. So eNotify just complements the PW Notify and allows you to get those notifications without being in the system itself. How long does it take to set up a new folio? I think as you noticed, Megan took us through templates, which there would certainly need to be some initial thought as you're setting up that template the first time. But the great thing about that template in Folio Manager, and it's also the same thing we use with Template Admin to allow you to quickly register your documents into Document Manager also, is that once that template's set up, you can reuse it and just go to town. So initially setting up a new folio might take a little bit of time because you might have to go through that thought process as you're going through the wizard to set up the template, but once the template's ready to go, it really should take no time at all to actually create a new folio and get moving. Can you search for items such as part numbers in the Folio Manager? Or what are the search capabilities within this particular area of the suite?
It's basically the same type of searching that we currently support in the quick search and indexing. Indexing is your friend for finding your documents, and that's probably your best source of search there.
Okay. All right, somebody's being cute. I'm not gonna read it out loud. Anyways, another one is, do I have to start from scratch each time I start a folio? And I think that goes along with what we were talking about. The template, that wouldn't necessarily be starting from scratch, because if you have something that is along that template, you'd be able to start with the template, make adjustments if you need to. Maybe there's a piece of that template that doesn't apply to this particular folio, but you could change it as you go. Let's see. All right. Y'all have been great. Thank you so much for your time. Just a few, oh, hold on, a couple last minutes. Last thing's coming in. Hold on just a second. When a document is routed to a certain person, can that person reroute to another individual and then back to them for approval? So here's kind of the scenario. Originator to engineering manager to engineer, back to engineering manager to originator. That, I hope that I've read it, and hopefully that's understandable. Do we have additional questions to clarify that, or would it be something that we should follow up more in person where we can have an ongoing conversation?
Yeah, as you noticed in the demonstration that Megan did, there's the ability to pick whomever you wish to be the next person in the route. You can follow the next, or you can go back to the previous person, or you can just pick from a list of whoever you wish to go to.
But those people would need to be assigned to the folio to pick them. Is that correct, Dwight?
Yeah, they would need the correct access to be able to jump around like that.
Okay. Again, we have all of these questions in writing. We'll answer them in more detail and we will also certainly follow up with everybody to make sure if there's other questions that have come up, that type of thing. Does the originator have to be the person to change the reroute or only have access?
They only need configure access. They don't need to be the originator.
Okay, but can the, I think, and I might be misinterpreting the question. Okay, nope, we got an okay. So I think that answered it. So again, we'll put these down in writing and follow up with everybody. Just wanted to let you know, so what's going to happen now. Again, thank you so much for your time. There will be a survey. I promise it's not one of those 50 questions. It's like, I think it's 5 or 6 questions survey that's going to be emailed out to all of you who have attended, just to kind of help us make sure that we're on point, that we're delivering things that have been helpful to you. Also, the next screen, Megan, if you don't mind switching to it. For those of you that don't know, we have moved our offices, so our new international headquarters, brand new office. We're really excited about it. Would love for any of you to come and visit us for training if you want to. And here's some new phone numbers. For the most part, if you've got my email address and my cell phone number, that has stayed the same, but we do have some new main numbers. Support is still support@waypointglobal.com. So please don't hesitate to email or call any of us if you have questions or comments about what you've seen or heard today. And we'll certainly be following up with you both with a link to the recording of the webinar and the questions. I want to thank Megan. Thanks so much, Megan. You did a great job, and I appreciate, again, all the time and effort that you put into getting the presentation ready. And certainly Brad and Dwight, who have led the teams to deliver what we hope will be some great new functionality for you and your teams there at your offices. So, and again, thanks to you guys. This is why we keep developing. This is why we're coming up with new ideas, because you all are providing us feedback. And you've probably heard us say it before, but we can't get better without you guys. So we want to continue to deliver and bring to you functionality that will make your lives easier. So thanks for all the feedback you've given us in the past, and keep it coming. So with that, I think we're scheduled for an hour, and I'm going to give you 15 minutes back into your day. Woohoo! Don't even know how that happens. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your summer, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.